Hello everybody, I'm Robert Usardi, the creator of Blockchain Kingdoms. We turn video gaming into passive income and paid work. In this video, I've composed for you a massive guide for Our Planet, which is a de-finance game on the Wax platform. If you have never used Wax before, this video is going to go over how to use it. If you've never used Our Planet before, this video is also going to go over how to use the best strategies in Our Planet, how to get an edge, and how to avoid the mistakes that I made as I started out. And we'll talk about how I'm earning over $2,500 a month in passive income in Our Planet. So I've sectioned out this video at the bottom. You can scrub through and it will tell you what it's about. If you have been a user of Our Planet and you're just here for the strategies, go ahead and go to the sections that are about the strategies. So a short plug for my platform called Blockchain Kingdoms. We have these cards. We have just rebranded them into what we call Metasource cards. They are coming to Wax in several weeks. So to find out more about our Metasource cards, which we used to call our passive income cards, go to shop.blockchainkingdoms.com. So this is the Our Planet Mega Guide. This is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research and make your own decisions. So the point of this video is to not only give you a starting point on Wax or Our Planet if you've not used them before. And so if you're watching this guide, the intention is that it gives you an edge over the competition. So what's in this video? I'm going to cover what is Our Planet. I'm going to go over my earnings, my ROI, how I got there, how to also not make the mistakes that I made, as well as basically a getting started guide. You know, what is Wax? If you've not gotten started with Wax yet, how to do that, how to get started with Atomic Hub. And then there's the main guide, which talks about trading, crafting, the tools and the strategies. And last but not least, I'm actually going to go over multiple times in this video how to get an edge in the market. What is Our Planet? Our Planet is a DeFi game based around crafting and more. Now the story is you're basically a bunch of these animals who are traveling through space. You're going to colonize a new planet. In order to do that, they have to craft new elements. So let's talk about the main game loop here. Under how it works on the Our Planet website, they're telling you basically stake NFTs, which gets you Aether, and the Aether utility token is what you use to create basic elements. So what we're earning and what we're selling and buying a lot of the time is this Aether token that is earned from staking the NFTs, and we can use that Aether to create these elements, and those elements can then become new NFTs that you can stake to earn more Aether. So that is really kind of like the big basic game loop. Common elements will earn you less than rare, epic, or legendary elements, so there is luck involved in this core game loop, but you don't necessarily have to follow the entire game loop. You can actually just like get Ether, buy NFTs to stake, and then sell Ethers, or you can create elements. You do have choices about how you want to participate. So right now, one of the biggest components of Our Planet is to stake items. Essentially, you buy cards and you buy elements and things, and you stake them inside of the ourplanet.io website, and every hour you will earn Aether based on your item. So essentially, like this right here that I have staked is earning me 250 Aether an hour, and I can trade my Aether. I can trade these items that I have. One of the main strategies that the game developers had for getting people to use their game was that they essentially added other card collections that can be staked, and you can earn Aether. So if you look at all these are all the brands that are essentially approved on Our Planet to be staked and earning. So these are basically card collections. If you have Metaforce comics or Tribal books or Bitverse comics, some of these cards are stakeable and they can earn Aether based on their rarity. So they're adding new collections very slowly. Tribal books only has a certain amount of Aether set aside, and the more cards that get released, those cards for Tribal books are going to end up sharing that. The main part of the game is this thing that's called the generator. You put things into the generator and then you construct and you craft. Now this is something I do not advise people who just start out to do. I have this garbage here because I just came into the game and then I crafted a piece of garbage and I had no idea what I was doing. So I do not advise going to ourplanet.io and going into the generator and just getting started. So what can be crafted in this generator are actually these things called elements, and they vary in rarities. And there's actually a 60 2% chance of getting a common, and then the rest is all a chance to get a uncommon or better. So that's really the name of the game right now, is that you take your Aether and you craft and you take a chance at getting something better. I'm going to go over more of the economics and how it functions as we go through this video. So the main components of the game is the card staking, is the crafting from the generator. Also Aether and rig element trading. So you can trade these rigs and these elements. Or can you sell a rig for a better price or not? There's going to be another part of the game coming later, which involves robots fighting. So you'll be building robots and you'll be competing them together. And I imagine that's also going to earn you other resources. So that is a part of the game that's going to be rolled out at a future date and is not released at the moment. So let's just go over some of the main strategies of the game, right? Because that's what it's all about. Like, why are we playing this definanced game? And so you can have your own reasons, but the reason I play is because by collecting these rigs and elements and by crafting elements, I get to collect more Aether per an hour for passive income. So I'm going to go over my earnings and what I spent in just a minute. But the way I look at it is that the inefficiency of others in the economy creates opportunities for you. So if someone is essentially crafting, but they're only crafting commons and they don't get like an uncommon or a better, well, essentially they're kind of being inefficient in the economy, and that creates an opportunity for you as someone who has maybe a better strategy or is luckier. I think sometimes luck is a bad strategy, so I've tried to use strategies to really be geared towards my favor, even if I have bad luck, hopefully not horrible luck. So the main strategy is also to identify opportunities for efficient trading and crafting. So there are really opportunities that can come up or that you can create, and really it's all in the name of being efficient inside of how much Ether you're earning or crafting or trading. So we're going to go over all of that in this video. So what am I earning? So here's a tool here. It is rp.naw.io, and I'm going to attach that link at the bottom of this video. And basically, you can connect your Wax wallet, and you can look at what you're earning. So this number right here is my total Aether per an hour. It's just over 22,000. So this tells me what I'm earning per an hour, day, week, month, and year. Aether in this column, Wax in this column, and dollars in this column. Now the Aether is fixed. So the Wax is going to depend on the current market prices of Aether versus Wax. And the same thing with dollars. The value of dollars is going to depend on the value of Wax. So if we look at this, basically every day I am earning about 579 Wax, or $91 a day. That is on what I have staked in the game right now. So $91 per day in passive income. I think that's pretty awesome. And that's just at the current going rates. The value of Wax versus Ether versus the dollar can go up and down. In fact, it does all the time. So I'm not too worried about it. I believe in this game. I am making about $640 a week, or $2,781 a month, or $33,000 a year based on how much Aether I am earning. So if I look at the Our Planet leaderboards right now, that puts me in about the top 900 earners. So if we took the total value of the rigs and the elements that I have for this game, it is about 58,000 Wax, or it's just shy of $10,000. $900,785 is what I've calculated for the current going rates right now. Now, the good thing is that I think I've only spent maybe about $8,000 worth of cryptocurrency in buying these. I think I came out a little more efficient because I bought during the big dip that just happened in crypto a couple of weeks ago. I saw that Wax was down and a lot of rigs were selling for discount price, and that the rig sale was happening. I just saw this massive opportunity to get into the market at what was probably the ideal time. So the ROI is about 313%, which is pretty good. I like this because you never know, the crypto market could go up or down, but I like this gamified system. I think it's in a huge area of growth right now. I think blockchain gaming is going to be one of the biggest things to blow up over the next 10 years. I think it's going to be just as big as electric vehicle over the next decade. That's why I created a blockchain gaming company called Blockchain Kingdoms. But I also have the elements and the rigs that I still own, so I can always resell those for whatever the going market rate is right now, which we discussed is about $10,000. So not only am I holding about $10,000 worth of elements and rigs, I'm also earning close to $3,000 a month in Aether. Now, important thing to note is a lot of this value is going to be determined by the growth. If there is, say, a shrinkage or a decrease in users in our planet, if there's going to be less essentially cryptocurrency and users flowing into the system, less money flowing into the system, you're probably going to see this drop. I don't see that dropping anytime soon. I think this thing is big. It's getting bigger. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just my personal belief. The fact that I'm in the top 900. I know there's a lot more people out there who have more than, $8,000 to $10,000 like I did. They just haven't found this game yet. So I positioned myself because I think the major whales still have not found this game. And the other big thing to consider is that this does not include compound growth. So I've calculated that you can actually reinvest your earnings every month for about 16% compound growth. So every month, that's going to be huge. You add 16% per month compound growth on top of the 313% ROI. To me, that just could be massive, especially during a period where this thing keeps growing, which could be several years. Really, this game maybe possibly could make millionaires. I don't know. That's why I created my company, was because I do want to see, millionaires come up inside of the blockchain gaming space. So one of the main purposes of this video is so that you don't make my mistake. So you don't pay more for a rig than it's really worth, like I did. So one of the major mistakes I made was there was a huge dip in crypto, and I just started buying rigs up left and right because I was like, oh wow, this is only this much money, and this seems like a great value. And maybe there actually could have been a better way for me to do that. I didn't know that there was a Discord channel at our planet where you could trade for lower rates. So that was one of my major mistakes, was not going into the Discord and seeing that I could have gotten anywhere between maybe an 8 to almost 15% premium over what I was buying on the store. So I still came out pretty well ahead, but I could have even come out more ahead, and I want that to happen for you. So let's get started. What is Wax? What is Atomic Hub? Are there any fees? So this is one of the main reasons I like Wax, and it's one of the reasons that we're moving our newly branded cards, our Metasource cards for Blockchain Kingdoms, while we're moving those onto Wax. There are no fees for transacting on Wax. Now, sometimes you might get an error if you want to trade because the network is congested, but you can get around that by maybe a couple of dollars worth of Wax into staking, and then that will give you more input on Wax service. So I really like Wax. I have talked about Engine a lot on this channel, and I think Wax could possibly be the king of gaming platforms when it comes to NFTs, because Engine has not really shown a lot of growth during this very crucial time, but we'll have to see. Now, in order to get Wax, the currency, the token, you're going to have to use some either exchanges or get your Wax somehow. So one of the easiest ways to do it is to do it from the wallet inside of after you make a Wax account. I also recommend KuCoin. I've been using KuCoin because I can move cryptos into KuCoin and I can buy my Wax there, which is really what I've been doing. Since I started using KuCoin, I really haven't had to buy Wax with a credit card. I've just been moving crypto there. So Bitrex also allows you to use Wax and buy Wax and trade it. Bitrex started to have outages, and I did some research. Apparently, Bitrex have had several outages with Wax. So Bitrex you can use. I don't recommend it. It might kind of depend what country you're in, what you can use. KuCoin, I live in Los Angeles. I can use KuCoin. Okay, so I know there are people out there who have either not gotten started with crypto or they have not gotten started with Wax. So I have made a a separate video. I'm putting the link at the bottom here. And so if you're not even sure where to get started, how to swap these cryptos, how to operate it, how to do market trades, or even how to set up a Wax wallet and trade to it, follow the link at the bottom of this video, either after this video or right now, and then come back to this one. But I've made that segment specifically for people who, just need to get started either with crypto or the Wax platform. So when you get started, you kind of want to choose your strategies. Do you want to start small or start big? For some people who want to start small, I'm going to go over just all the small little steps that you can take to get started in our planet and watch your earnings grow. If you want to start big and you just want to dump a bunch of money in our planet and just like go all in, I'm going to talk about that a little bit later in the video. What you also want to do to get started is to join our Discord. We talk about our planet a lot. We talk about strategies and the evolving game. We're really into blockchain gaming. That's why I built my company, is to turn video gaming into passive income and paid work. It's why we have our Metasource cards that we have available at shop.blockchainkingdoms.com. So if you want to get involved with other people who believe in blockchain gaming, we love this stuff, join our Discord. The link is at the bottom of this video. All right, so getting started in our planet, you don't want to just like log into ourplanet.io and just start buying a bunch of elements and then jumping in and building things. I really don't suggest it, because I did that and basically I threw away like $5 or $10 because I had no idea what I was doing. I made some garbage and basically like it's useless to me. So what you want to do is you want to start by getting Ether per an hour by buying rigs or elements. So another reason that you don't want to use the generator is because it's one of the places where the most amount of inefficiencies in the market happens. And that's because it's intended to be used for the advanced players. So advanced players who are probably getting ahead in the market or are very sure themselves are using the generator to either craft elements or to invent new elements. Now there's typically more risk associated with crafting elements or inventing new elements, and this is why it's really reserved for people who are either really familiar with our planet or have a lot of money to spend. All right, so why start small? You might want to start small because you want to start to get a feel for how the market behaves. The Our Planet market has a kind of methodical, very easy to use structure. Essentially, you start to see these same kind of things start to happen. Every time something new is invented, then you see the price of Aether go up because everyone's going in to buy the Aether to craft the new thing. So by starting out small, you can kind of start to watch the market, see what the going rates of things are. Our planet is fun because it has these gaming elements. It's basically like the gamified version of the stock market. With the stock market, you're kind of buying things and hoping it goes up and you don't know when or how. But our planet is really cool because there's some very specific triggers in the market which makes it kind of predictable. So you can game it in a very predictable manner. And I really love this. And I think that's why it's a great idea to start small, because then you can learn how to be very efficient. And being more efficient will, get you better earnings in the long run. So let's just get started by browsing Atomic Hub and see what's on here for our planet, how to look at the prices of things. So let's go to wax.atomichub.io. So you can go to here at Market, and you can see our planet right now is at the top. It might not always be at the top, but we can click and it's going to show us that there are packs, there are elements, there are rigs, and there are lands. You can sort by their newest. Something you probably want to be searching for is price by lowest. And you can see here the lowest mini pack right now is $865. Inside this mini pack, there's about very minimum 1,000 Ether per an hour. So here, if you go to elements, these are the things that are crafted inside of the generator. So when elements are created, only the first 600 that are crafted will ever be NFTs. The rest will basically be FTs that are used to create other elements. So it might sound confusing, but the important thing to know is that if you go onto our planet and you search under elements, all of these are NFTs, and right now there's only 600 of each of these. So you see this garbage right here? There's only 600 garbage NFTs. But right now, if you craft another garbage inside of the generator, it will not be an NFT. These actually return Aether per an hour. Now there are several ways to check what the Ether earning per an hour is. Here's a Google document. I'm going to add the link to this at the bottom so you can search it up. If we go search at garbage here, a common garbage earns about 5 Aether per an hour. So it's very cheap to craft. This is one of the easiest things to craft inside of the generator. And again, if you craft this in the generator right now, it will not give you an NFT. It will not earn you any Aether per an hour because all of these garbage elements have been fully crafted out. There are no more of these NFTs that earn you Aether per an hour, but garbage may be used in a recipe for something else later. So you can use this document if you want to browse the elements on the store and you want to see what things are worth. Now this is just one method of looking at what things are worth. I'll show you other tools later how you can check Aether easier. But if you are new to our planet, you do not want to go in and start buying these up, not knowing what you're doing, because you won't know whether or not you're getting a good deal or a bad deal. Typically, the elements are way higher priced because they're hoping that someone comes in and they don't know what they're doing and they're going to buy a element at a way up price that it's not worth. So if you're new to our planet, don't go in here, don't go buying elements up left and right without it first checking the Aether per an hour, and we're going to talk more about what that means. So there's also these rigs. Now the rigs earn you a fixed Aether per an hour. They have the number at the top here. Rigs are very popular. It's very transparent what you're earning. As we saw before in the other elements tab, it doesn't tell you by default how much Aether it earns. Now, it can be kind of hard to tell whether or not a rig or an element is worth it. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to calculate essentially what we call the rate. You divide wax by the Ether earning per an hour, and you basically get the rate. And that is what everyone is buying and selling by, because it gives them an idea of what the current value purchase would be. So if we do 490 wax divided by 150 Aether, what we get is a rate of 3.2 Aether per an hour. So if we bought this, we would basically be earning 3.2 Aether per wax that we spent. So you want a lower rate of wax per an Ether per an hour is better because you're paying less wax for that Aether. Right now, if you go to the Discord, a good rate is about 2.4 to 2.6. Anything lower than 2.4, buy it. But that's just this exact moment. These rates may change, it may go up or down. Which is why you want to go into the Our Planet Discord. I'll put the link at the bottom of this video, and it's a good idea to ask around. Like if you're watching this video months into the future, you can ask, hey, so what is the good going rate for something right now? See what people say, or just watch the market. So 3.2, usually most of the items that you find on the market are overpriced, majority of the time. Now you may find something that is priced at about 2.6 or less, but that is kind of rare. So usually if you want to find a good deal, you want to go into the Discord and look there first. So if you want to find the value of a staked card from any collection, you can go to nfthive.io, and here you can see the Aether per an hour is listed. You can also search by the item number, which you'll see there, and you can just plug that in. NFT Hive also has tools for bulk staking. So if you buy just like a ton of Our Planet NFTs, you can bulk stake them from nfthive.io. And there's other tools on here as well. You can just kind of explore the website, investigate it, and see how you can use this to your advantage. So here in the Our Planet Discord, you can see there's a rig trading channel as well as an element trading channel. And if we look here, this guy's selling his elements, and it shows the staking power of these at a 2.6 rate, which at the moment is pretty average for the Discord. Now to check out the price of Aether versus wax and the other minerals, you go to wax.alcor.exchange. It is currently the place where these are traded. That may change in the future. But yeah, right now, if you want to buy Aether for wax, this is where you do it. And what you would use Aether for is for crafting elements, and also in the future probably other things like upgrading lands. So if you go here to Ether for wax, you will see the current prices. You can see it's kind of gone up and down here. And these spikes are typically where something has been invented. This last spike here today was when they announced you could boost the lands for 5 million Aether. So there was a big spike there. So these spikes are pretty common where there are inventions made. There's something that basically makes everyone want to buy right now. So to buy Aether, if you have wax in your account, you can go to either a market trade, and the market trade will buy whatever the lowest price is. Up here under the red is basically the sell orders. These are people who want to sell, and these green are people who want to buy. So if you want to buy, these are your competitors. If you want to sell, these are your competitors in the red. If you want to basically figure out what you want your price to be, you can go to limit trade. And then you can either type in the price of the wax per an Ether. Sometimes I will just click on one of these green things. Like if I want to sell for wax right now, I will just click like whatever the highest price is. I will then put in like, 0.1 to like 0.3. And then I'll put in how much Aether that I want to sell. If I want to sell all of my Aether, then I'll just hit it maxed out. And so by clicking here at the top price and basically putting it up one more, that puts me at the top of the current sell list. So that way I'm not paying whatever the highest sell order is. Instead, I'm paying whatever price that I'm determining here at the limit trade. Now, it may take time for that to get fulfilled. I've actually made a mistake once where I didn't put in like anything for a price. I think it sold at the best possible price. I kind of freaked out. I was afraid that I was going to sell everything at like the worst value, but actually didn't work out that way. But if I'm wrong about that, let me know in the comments below. And also on here is where you can buy the minerals that exist for our planet right now, like Weconite and Caponium Waxon. These are not used yet, but they may be a good value until that stuff goes live. Now, another great tool to use for Alcor is if you want to figure out like how much 500 wax will get you for a Ether, you can go into swap here, you can plug it in, and it'll show you that 500 wax will get me about 456,000 Aether, so almost a 500,000 Ether. And now there is slippage and fees for using swapping. So I don't advise using this first. I advise using markets first. But this will help you tell you what the conversion is likely to be for a Ether to wax and vice versa. So you may be wondering, hey, okay, so what's the best to stake with? Is it rigs or is it elements? Honestly, I buy more elements than anything because I think they're harder to sell on the store, which makes them a better value on the Discord. So if you're just starting out and you want to buy the best value, typically you can get the best value for elements. If you want to play a long game or you don't mind a little extra work in selling your elements when you want to sell, in that case, you might just want to get elements. Usually they're going for better rates here on the Discord. They show up in both rig trading and the element trading. I think rigs are more for newbies. I see there's a number. I realize that tells me how much Aether it's earning and I can just buy it. That's what I did initially. And it's one of the ways that I was inefficient in the beginning, even though I had a discounted price because of the dip in crypto and I was buying at a dip. But for maximum efficiency, I say go buy some elements inside of the element trading channel. If you go here, look at these. This is a list of cards that can be staked. I'm not a huge fan of buying cards purely for staking because the more cards that get released, the more dilution you'll see for those particular cards. I mostly stick with the elements and packs, but hey, if you find a good deal for a stakeable card, that's great, and I'll show you some tools for that later. All right, so once you have some elements and rigs, go to ourplanet.io. You basically will log in with your OurPlanet wallet here, and you can go into staking. And under staking, there's going to be a segment that says OurPlanet Elements. Whatever you have that you want to stake, if it's elements or rigs, it'll be here in elements. So anything that is unstaked will show up here on the unstaked tab. You can see that I have this currently unstaked. All you have to do is click stake. And this automatically detects that it is in your wallet. And so now there we go. It has been staked into my wallet, and it will tell you what your current staking rate is, and that is how much Aether you're earning per an hour. And this is how much reward that I have collected. And when I'm ready to collect my Aether, I will then click this button, claim all, and it will then deposit all of the Aether that I have waiting for me into my wallet. So when you want to trade your Aether for wax, you just go to wax.alcor.exchange, you go to the Aether, and then this is where you trade. So the main strategy here is to really just wait for one of these spikes. You can either set it up inside of a limit trade, or you can just wait for one of these big spikes. You can see here it went from 0.0009 to 0.012, and if you could sell here, that's great. So you might want to put in like a limit order sell or a limit sell if you want to sell like at 1.0013 or something. And so this is a great strategy to use. Sell Aether when it's high, and then to buy when Aether is low. And so so this is one of the main strategies. It's not the only strategy to use, but you'll find that a lot of people, when something new is discovered or there's new demand for Aether, a bunch of people will rush to go buy it. So another great strategy to use is to compound your gains. So as you collect Aether and you convert it into wax, this gives you an opportunity to go into the market and buy more rigs to increase your Aether rate. Now, this isn't for everyone. Some people will prefer to craft instead. In fact, many people prefer to craft because that's really part of the enjoyable part of the game. I actually enjoy buying elements for my compound growth, but really it's easy as that. As you gain more Aether, you can then go and buy elements and rigs, or you can craft in order to compound your gains. You can also just sell what you're earning. Really, there are a couple strategies you can use, but I think compounding your gains is one of the biggest parts. So we saw on the Discord that you can better rate. So how do you make user trades safely? How do you know you're getting the best value? So I'm going to go over that right now. I will vet the person first, so I will take their username and I will then plug it into the search function, and I will see like, have they been making posts before? See, this guy's a crab, so it probably means he's been around a while. For some reason my search function doesn't seem to be working properly at the moment. Names aren't coming up, but if I see that they've been posting multiple times over the last days, I'll figure they're probably for real. It's just one of the ways that I vet that person. So you can message that person, tell them that you want to buy or that you want to sell. So in order to sell, you have to back the NFT with tokens. So like here is a patch. This is basically a worthless NFT. You can see there's 24,000 of them. They're given away for free. This is basically worth nothing to me, maybe 77 cents. So it's not much. So what you'll want to do is you're going to back tokens, and this will basically attach the tokens onto the asset. So here you will put basically whatever the wax amount is. They want to sell this NFT for 2.6. Well, then you would just do 2.6 times 250, which is the rig value, and that gives you 650, which is the wax. So basically just multiply whatever the rate is by the Ether earning per an hour. That gives you the amount of wax that you would pay for that item. So in that case, 650, we'd put 650 onto here, we'd hit confirm. That would then back this token with that amount of wax. You'd then go into trading, you'd go to new offer, you would then select the NFT that has the backed tokens. You can tell because it'll tell you how much is backed, and then you'll put in the recipient name here. You will then see everything that they have in their account. There's not a lot of privacy on a blockchain, so you can see what people have. So you can then click here and say, hey, so I want to trade this backed token for this thing that you have. So in that case, like I would click whatever my back token is, and then I'd click on whatever I want to trade. Now, a very important thing is that you make sure that you're trading for what you actually want. So our planet does have one of these check marks. That means it is a verified. You also probably want to make sure that you're buying the right type. You don't want to go and buy an epic and then accidentally buy a common. You don't want to do that. You also don't want to make sure that they're trying to sell you the wrong thing. So you want to make sure that it says what it is, it's part of the whitelisted collection for our planet, and that they're also giving you the right commonality, whether it's common or rare. You want to make sure that it says that, whatever it is. If you're not sure about what that earns, you can go back into the other tools and make sure that whatever that is actually is earning whatever it said it did in the image. Hit send offer, it will go to them, and then they'll be able to approve or disapprove the trade. Now, I don't believe there's any fees for this, which is why people do it. There is no trade. This is basically just a trade for trade. So to retrieve the wax tokens that are backed onto an NFT, you will just go into your inventory under your wallet here, find the NFT, and then you will burn it. And by burning this NFT, it will give you that wax back. We can see here that I have 1 wax, and I have 553 wax here. And I'm going to show it to you because when people tell me I have to burn an NFT to get my wax back, I almost don't believe them. So I'm going to have to see it happen. So there we go. It says I have now burned this card, which means it's basically unusable. I can no longer trade it. And now right up here, we see that, yes, I did get that 1 wax back into my account. All right, so that is how you do user trade safely. So now really start to get into the meat of this. So when should you start crafting? I would say that you should start crafting either just when you want to have fun and give it a shot, or when you have enough Aether to really start to strategize. All right, so what is the generator? So you'll see here over in the shop, you have these things called air and earth and water and fire. So we're just gonna buy one of each of these. These 4 elements, air, earth, fire, and water, they are the basis of discovering things inside of our planet. When you combine these, they will then create new things. If you go to ourplanet.tools/generator, going to put the link at the bottom of this video, you will see all of the elements that exist and elements that can be crafted. You can also put elements into a simulator here, and you can see if something has been crafted. Someone put in air last time 9 hours ago and it failed because it didn't craft anything. But if you put in like a correct recipe that has already been discovered, you'll see here this creates energy. One of the major inefficiencies in the market is that people are constantly throwing things in here trying to discover new things. Like someone right now is trying to discover gas, so people are throwing in lots of element, trying to craft different things, trying to figure out what gas is. And so this is really one of the main part of the games, is discovering new elements and then crafting new elements. There are only so many of these that will ever be crafted that will be NFTs. 600. So Compass, there's already, all of those are maxed out. Right now, money still has not been crafted out. There's still over 300 monies that can be created that will be NFTs. Everything else will just be an FT, which will basically be an ingredient. I made the mistake of thinking all of these would get crafted out fast, but not always. So the more expensive something is, the slower it will be to get crafted out. So if we look here at this Our Planet spreadsheet, link at the bottom of this video, it will tell you your chances of finding a common, uncommon, rare, epic, legendary, or mythic NFT. You have a 62% chance of crafting a common. So you have a 38% chance of crafting something better than a common. Now that might sound great, but if you have really crappy luck, it is actually possible for you to craft like 10 or 15 commons in a row. It's not likely. You do have a 38% chance of crafting an uncommon or better. But you can see here, if you craft a common, that is about 3 times worse than an uncommon. So I've crafted 7 elements so far. 4 of those have been commons, 2 have been uncommons, and 1 has been a rare. I mean, that's pretty standard as far as luck goes. It makes me basically earn about average. So we've done some of the math, and we think that if you craft about 10 to 20 of these, well, then you're pretty much in a very common range for possibilities. So some people tell you just to craft, but if you do the math, you really don't want to be crafting unless you're going to be crafting 7 to 10 items or more. Really within the 10 or 20 is what's going to put you in an average range. If you craft and if you have crappy luck, then you get a bunch of commons. It kind of sucks. If you craft and you end up getting like a mythic or legendary, that's great luck. But you can fall on either side of that, sword. You can fall on either a string of commons or a stream of better than commons. You're really taking a gamble when you craft in the generator. So back in the old days, people would basically go into the generator and they would craft things one by one, but this ourplanet.tools/generator will save your life because it'll let you craft with a click of a button. So if we go down here into Prism, and we can build this prism. We'll have to log in, but you can begin crafting with this, and it will craft all of this for you. So while you're crafting, you're going to come across 3 different types of errors. The first error is basically it just crapped out. It couldn't do it for some reason, and you'll have to basically close this. It will remember your status, so don't worry about that. And just go back in to build again, and then it will continue building. Something else that you might run into is it will tell you that you don't have enough elements. If you're like, wait a minute, I bought enough elements, just give it a second. You know, every time I come back in after it told me that it failed, I give it a second to catch up and to see what it says, to let it see if it's really where I think it last left off. And then I start crafting again. So another type of error is it's going to tell you that basically you don't have enough CPU usage or something. In that case, you're going to need more CPU. What you can do is you can either wait, but if you think that this thing might get crafted out fast because it's a low Aether craft, like 500K, those tend to get crafted very quickly. In that case, you want to go back into your Wax wallet and you want to add more, you want to stake more to your CPU. And staking to your CPU should then fix that problem when you come back. So the last kind of error that you can come across while you're crafting is things can get stuck inside the generators. In that case, you'll want to go over here into the generator. You'll see that the elements are stuck. You just hit construct. It will then discover that thing for you. And then you can go back into here to the Our Planet tools, and it should detect that automatically that you now have that thing crafted, and it will continue on. So one of the most important things to look out for when crafting is something that I call chaining. I don't know what other people call it. It's basically being able to have ingredients from crafting other items and using those to build new ones. So if we look here, the grayed out items are undiscovered. Here is bubbles and soda. These are both undiscovered. A lot of people think there's a possibility bubbles will be an ingredient inside of soda. So let's say if bubbles is half the cost to craft soda, well, then we craft bubbles. Not only will we get the NFT, which gives us the staking power that we can trade to other people and put into stake, it will also give us the FT. So it's basically a 2-for-1 deal. Like, let's say soda does contain bubbles, and bubbles is basically like half the Aether number to craft to get a soda. Well, then you're basically getting like a half off discount of building a soda. And you're getting 2 FTs and 2 NFTs for crafting both of these. So you can attribute that accounting. So that's kind of basically chaining, is when you can craft new NFTs, get the FTs, and use those FTs to fuel your next craft up the chain. And the chain could possibly go up to several crafts, not just 1 or 2. And you can imagine you have some competition when it comes to chaining items. When we had pencil, that could be used to make book. Pencil and book got crafted out inside of the first, I think, 10 hours or so. So about 10 hours after pencil and book were invented, they were basically completely crafted out because pencils almost entirely cover the cost of book. So if you want to know when something new is invented, you can go onto the Discord. Going to add the link to the bottom of this video for Our Planet, and there's an invention alerts channel. You can also go into the uninvented items channels, and you can see how these guys are doing. Sometimes they're banging their heads against the wall trying to invent something new here, like gas, kite, bubbles, soda. And you can kind of get a feel for how many people are in here trying to find that new recipe. So another important point about inventing, if you want to invent things, is that this tool at ourplanet.tool/generator at the moment is not always completely updated. I'm going to link you to the tools that I know of for testing these inventions, but here's a combination that I tried over 48 hours ago for crafting gas, and it's still not updated in the generator as having been tried. So if you want to invent something and you put it in here and you're like, oh look, no one's tried this recipe yet, well, that may or may not be true. I think right now there's no perfect tool that's completely updated at this exact moment of June 8th, 2021. But hopefully in the future, there will be something that is definitely up to date and easier to tell whether or not a recipe has been tried for a new invention. All right, so we were talking about FTs versus NFTs. NFTs are the ones that you can stake for Aether per an hour, and NFTs are also bonuses that you get after you craft that you can then use to craft other things. If you have an FT that you want to keep for a future craft, then you can hold on to that. However, you can also sell those FTs here on wax.simplemarket.io. Going to include the link at the bottom of this video, and basically you can go on here. You can look at your wallet. You can see what items you have and what they're selling for, and you can sell your FTs on here. So I've sold a couple of FTs on here for things that I didn't think were really going to have a use case for me. Do you want to hold FTs or sell them? It's really up to you. Who knows if some of these are going to be part of a recipe later. If you just want to get some of that money to craft now, you can just go ahead and sell them in Simple Market. I was surprised that mine actually sold at basically the bottom of the market price of what I thought it was, and I was very surprised to see those actually sell as quickly as they did. But yes, people do buy those. Land, is it worth it? So at the moment, the lands earn the mineral per an hour based on the base rate, and that's based on the rarity. So you can go onto the atomic market and you can look at what the price is versus what the the rarity and the earnings are. I found that right now Aether is selling basically at about a 5-to-1 ratio of what these minerals are selling at. So yes, you can sell the minerals on Alcor right now, but they're down at about a 5-to-1 ratio from the Aether. So I've stuck into Aether, and I also found that if you were to buy, say, this land, which is about 9,000 wax, if you were to buy that amount of wax in minerals, it's over 2 years worth of minerals for 2 lands. So I've decided just to buy minerals at a discount right now since they don't have a use case. I may buy some land in the future. We can actually already see the price of the lands has gone up a little bit because of the uplift announcement that just happened. But you really have to gauge for yourself whether or not you think these lands are worth it. They could be 5x from what they are right now, but right now Aether is 5 times worth what these minerals are worth. So I've held off buying land for now. So what is the future of our planet? Really, I see this thing continuing to expand. They're going to create a robot fighting element, which is going to require people to use the minerals from the land to create robots. Apparently Weconite is supposed to be the fuel that is used for the robots. I heard lately that was removed from some website somewhere, but I don't know if that means that's not the case anymore. But either way, you probably will need all those elements, so I've been buying those elements while I think they're cheap on the Alcor exchange. So I'm really excited for what the future holds for this. I really like it. Definance game. This is why I got involved in blockchain gaming. It's why I created a blockchain gaming company. It's because I have always wanted something like this, and nobody ever made one. And finally, we're getting there. There's there's our planet. There are our Metasource cards, which are available at shop.blockchainkingdoms.com. And finally, these things are real. They're coming around. Being able to turn video gaming into passive income and paid work. I'm just so super excited for this space and what we're creating, what our planet is creating. And I just can't wait to continue to make more videos about our planet and to tell you guys more about our Metasource cards, as well as our 5 versus 5 arena, where we'll have our job token that you can earn. I'm just super excited for all this stuff. So how to get the best edge is to join our Discord, because we talk about our planet all the time. We're always looking on how to get an edge. There's a link at the bottom of this video. We're all about identifying current and coming opportunities inside of the market, what strategies we can build. Just to recap some of the main strategies: sell Ether at the top and Alcor when it's there. Also, another strategy we really didn't talk about was sometimes you see elements and rigs the cheapest when Aether is basically at its peak. What sometimes happening is that more people want to buy Aether, so they're willing to sell their rigs and elements cheaper in order to fuel crafts and things like that. So it is one element you can use if you especially don't have a ton of money to use for a bunch of 2-for or 3-for crafts. In that case, you might be able to go in and find some rigs and elements for a cheaper value. Another strategy is to wait for those 2-for, 3-for crafts where you can craft something, get the NFT, which is stakeable, and then also get the FT, which can be used to craft craft something else. If you join our Discord, we talk about this all the time. What FTs do we think will be craftable in chains? So also, you can sell more desirable elements and rigs for a premium. I think probably in the future, like a Bitcoin element might be kind of worth a premium. People will want more for that. So it's something to kind of look out for. Rigs also seem to sell a premium price, so if you can get some rigs at a good price, maybe you can upsell those later. So last but not least, my platform, Blockchain Kingdoms, we have our Metasource cards. They're available at shop.blockchainkingdoms.com. So if you like our planet, if you like definance games like this, each card is unique. It is one of a kind. There's only one mint of each. We only release 20 of these cards a week. We're selling out. We're sold out about 35% of our inventory. We're getting more popular every day. And we have that platform is pre-launch. It is coming towards the end of the year. You can follow the link at the bottom of this video. These cards are coming to the Wax platform very soon if they're not there already. Also, a shout out to all of our Discord members at Blockchain Kingdoms Discord. I really could not have made this video without you guys. I started out as a newbie on our planet just a few weeks ago, and you guys have really helped me out and answered my questions. Amazinger, Devi Metal, Healthy, Jay Luzon, my business partner, Josh. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found this video useful. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.